Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 21st, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see our weak frontal system moving through Northern California, bringing some precipitation as we go through this morning. This was once our inside side of the cinnamon bun out here across Colorado. That dropped down across the region, brought the offshore winds in its wake. It spun over Arizona. It's now moving off to the north and east. But our next weather maker here is going to come from the Gulf of Alaska. Bringing some cold air down here. It's going to get cut off at least briefly, then reabsorbed into the westerlies and brought back in to the west coast of North America. We're going to take a look at the latest in the weather models for that. We'll also be taking a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. Taking a look at where we are right now. I'm going to scroll back and forth and you can see that frontal system across Northern California there. Moving in. That is that light precipitation ongoing as we speak. If you look across some of the valley areas, you see the Doppler radar beams. It could be running into ground clutter, dust, burrs, beams bump up against terrain and whatnot here. That is not precipitation. You can even run into cars on the roadways and whatnot, depending on the Doppler radar settings. So yeah, and there was even a lightning strike there across southwest Oregon this morning, just a little while ago. So taking a look at Phoenix, I do want to mention this. Things are going to start to warm up again. We could even approach some record high temperatures again later half of the work week. So yeah, sorry to bring that news to you there. Across portions of Arizona and some of the desert areas are going to be warming up quite nicely of California as well. Taking a look at the composite reflectivity, this is what the Doppler radar will probably look like here as we go through this morning. You can see quickly that precipitation is going to be cutting off with that system. Then our eyes turn to the Pacific Ocean as we're going to watch the organization of our next storm here that will move probably towards the Oregon coastline. Now, taking a look at that, you can see the frontal system as we go through the day today. Then we get this system developing out here across the Pacific Ocean. Also notice this tropical system down here to the south of Baja, going to be tracking off to the west, but then it will slow down and try to move a little bit up north. We'll be watching that closely just to see if any moisture is going to try to sneak from that system back into the southwest USA. But here goes the system here out across the Pacific Ocean. It's going to get reabsorbed back into the westerlies here. And nice gale here moving up the Oregon coastline as we go through the day. Friday, some of that frontal system will be clipping portions of California. And then another trough's going to swing through here. And that has the potential to bring some precipitation down into portions of California. Some models showing this going a little bit further south here. So we're going to be watching that closely. And if I scroll backwards here, you can see that tropical system kind of get absorbed here. And it tries to bring some moisture, but then kind of gets cut off and remains to the south of this ridge of high pressure here, gets shunted back to the west. So we'll be watching that closely just to see if there's some kind of interaction between this frontal system, mid-latitude cyclone drawing some of that moisture up there over the next few days. And just a fantasy forecast right now. Now taking a look about 2,500 feet up in the atmosphere, you got the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. There's California. You can see the cold air and the northerlies coming down across the Pacific Ocean, setting up right here on this boundary as we go on in through the day today. And you'll see by the time we get towards tonight and Tuesday morning, you can see the development of that system out over the Pacific Ocean there. And then that one's going to spin up, get reabsorbed, and brought up the coastline here. How far south will that precipitation get? Down towards the Bay Area or the Central Coast. Things we'll be watching closely here over the next couple of days. And there's that tropical system here as well. Maybe some of that moisture will get brought back up if this frontal system and this trough drop a bit further south. And we scroll off into the extended forecast here and additional systems going through the Pacific Northwest. We'll see what kind of impact that will have on California and be breaking that down day by day. So another thing with that system out over the Pacific Ocean here, you'll see its development here, its organization as we go through the upcoming week. And there starts to spread some wave action here, and initially up towards Northern California, some Oregon and Washington. Then the westerlies kick in this trough. You can see the increased wave action as we go on into the later portions of the weekend and on into early next week for much of California. So we're watching that here as well. Now, take a look at total precipitation in inches. This is the National Blend of Models. And you can see as we go through the day today, a couple tenths of an inch here, not much to write home about from Northern California. And then we scroll off into the future and our system, there it goes, starts to develop here and gets shunted towards the west coast of North America, brings some precipitation this weekend for Northern California. And then as that trough swings through, you can see it brings some precipitation down here across some of the Sierra Nevada, tries to get it down towards the Bay Area a little bit here, but we'll be watching that. As you see, we scroll off a bit further into the forecast, and it does hit some areas of Central California and northbound here, much bigger precipitation values up across Northwest California. Now, taking a look at total snow in inches as well as we get towards this time of year, I just want to scroll out here really quickly and show you way off into Fantasyland. It does show some snowfall. It's a substantial snowfall for the Sierra Nevada as we go off way off towards the end of October and the early portion of November. Take that with a grain of salt, but we will be watching it. Now, Things have cooled down this time of year, of course. So temperatures are much more comfortable, even if you are above average here. So as you can see, the frontal system swinging through here, and things are still above average. Central, Southern California, Nevada, a lot of Utah and Arizona as well. We bring that system up across Oregon here, and it keeps Northern California maybe below average for a bit, and then we bounce these temperatures back here as we go through the end of October. But then we get a pattern change here potentially as we go towards the end of the month. Don't hold me to that. That's fantasy land right now, but we will be watching it. That would bring some well below normal temperatures across much of the west coast of the USA and the Southwest. We'll be watching that and breaking it down. But if we look at the daily 2-meter max temperatures here, I mean, even if you are above average, temperatures are much more comfortable this time of year, not looking at mid and upper 90s or 100-degree readings here across the San Joaquin or Sacramento valleys or the coastal areas, and the deserts are also feeling much more comfortable here as well. As we scroll off to the extended forecast, look at some of these temperatures dropping back down as we go off towards Halloween. Here's the 6 to 10 day. You see some above average here across the Southwest through October 30th. And look at that 6 to 10 day precipitation. We do have the chance for some systems rolling in here during this time frame. And there's the 8 to 14 day. The Climate Prediction Center is on to that. There are some below normal temperatures across the state of California showing up as we go through the end of the month. And 8 to 14 day precipitation, not a bad outlook here for much of the west and some of the plains also. But yeah. Oh, I also wanted to point this out. So yeah, this is the channel. I just kind of froze one of the videos here. If you do want to click join and become a member of the page, it's that little join button right down there. And I think it's a white button there on your mobile device. And if you want to subscribe, it's also down here. Also, you can click subscribe and whatnot. So yeah. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a good day. We will break this all down again tomorrow and check to see what's coming. And I will talk to you guys then.